JBN, we keep you informed. Marked for death. Westmoreland car dealer on the run from police killer squad, says lawyer. A Westmoreland car dealer is currently in hiding and fearing for his life in what he claims is a bizarre real-life movie that started shooting the day he refused to pay $800,000 in extortion to a cop in the parish. Sean Smith, who operates Car Junction, Jamaica at Three Rivers, Westmoreland, said that he's afraid that he might fall victim to the nozzle of police greed after being hounded and threatened by alleged rogue cops who said they'll make my life hell if me don't pay. On Sunday, less than 2 months after he was detained by the police for 6 days and released without charge, Smith has been listed as a person of interest by the Westmoreland Police. A release the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, said was sent to the media and not routed through CCU, and which detracts on what should happen. Smith's lawyer, Bert Samuels, said he too fears for his client's safety. He is in hiding and seems to be a victim of one of these regional death squads, not just the ones we know about, but there are several others around. Those are our instructions, that he fears for his life, Samuel said. Smith, a native of Hanover, said he is a pull himself up by the bootstraps tradesman, who later transitioned into importing cars. His narrative of persistent persecution centers around an alleged police conspiracy that has relentlessly targeted him for money. The police then break into my house, climb through a window, cut up my mattress, my sofa, and spray paint my house, mix flour and water and throw it all over my furniture and force me to leave it. It was my house that me and my girlfriend built, said Smith. They detained me for 6 years in a march, questioned and cross-examined me for every known thing. Then released me, and 2 months later, I'm a person of interest. That is all part of the plan to kill me, because the policeman told me he was going to make my life hell if I didn't pay him this money, the 29-year-old father of two said. I have $18 million of clients' money to refund and can't do it because I have to be in hiding. When the police detained and released me, people start get jumpy because they want back their money. I've brought down cars of police who still owe me, but just because I said I'm not paying extortion money, I have to be running like I'm a criminal, he said. Smith said that he was under probe from the Financial Investigations Division, but was told that he was free to go. His firearm license was revoked, and police again entered his property, allegedly without warrants, on every occasion destroying his property. He detailed reporting his ordeal to the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, the chief police watchdog, as far back as 2014. INDECOM confirmed yesterday that it has received 2 reports from Smith. 4 people killed overnight in Clarendon. The Clarendon police are reporting that 4 people were killed in the parish between Monday night and early yesterday morning. The deceased include a man and his common-law wife who were shot dead at their shop in Bullard's Content District, Yorktown. Reports are that residents heard explosions about 8:15 p.m. on Monday, and the following checks: Mark Miles and his common-law wife, 40-year-old Debbie Heyman, were found at their shop with gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead at hospital. In the second shooting incident, 33-year-old Reggie Allen, unemployed, of Red Road, Palmer's Cross, and the 17-year-old Chevelle Drackett, student of Curtis Penn in Maypen, were shot dead yesterday morning by unknown assailants in Red Road. Reports from the Maypen police are that Allen and Drackett were at home about 5:25 a.m. when gunmen forcibly entered the premises and opened gunfire, hitting the two. Both victims were transported to the hospital, where Allen was pronounced dead and Drackett died while undergoing surgery. Police High Command rejects claim civilian paid for injured cops' medical treatment. The Police High Command is dismissing a media report that the CT scan for one of the 2 policemen shot and injured during Sunday's robbery in Clarendon was delayed and had to be paid for by a businessman. The High Command said this is not true. In a statement, it said that all arrangements for the treatment of both policemen were made by the police's welfare officer, Assistant Superintendent Raymond Wilson, with the JCF having complete responsibility for the full payment of all costs incurred for the treatment of the cops. According to the High Command, the hospital was not able to provide the CT scan, and as a consequence, arrangements were made with the senior manager at a private facility by ASP Wilson and the scan was administered. The Police High Command is expressing sincere thanks and commendation to the doctors and the staff at the Mapen Hospital and all the other healthcare workers, to include those at the private facility, for the care and attention given to the injured cops. Military operation needed in Clarendon, says Chang. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has indicated that a military operation is needed to deal with the level of criminality in sections of Clarendon. His statement came after Member of Parliament for Central Clarendon, Mike Henry, called for a Zone of Special Operations, ZOZO, or State of Emergency, SOE, to be declared in sections of the parish where 2 policemen were shot and injured during a confrontation with armed robbers at a supermarket on Sunday. Speaking on Monday, Chang said ZOZO is a community-based operation. This is a criminal gang, heavily armed, which requires a response that is much different from a ZOZO. You have to chase them, hunt them down, find them, and hopefully apprehend them. But if they respond, then the police will be prepared to do what they have to do. This is not a ZOZO operation. This is a military operation. The country needs to appreciate the severity of what the police face. The criminals are armed with assault rifles, and appear that certain M16 they were using have what they call bomb-stop magazines, which carry 100 rounds. This is not the kind of thing a ZOZO deals with. This requires armed response, but guided by intelligence and investigation that can make sure we find the right criminals, he continued. According to the police, the robbers involved in the gun attack on the police officers used the operator of the supermarket as a shield and made their escape in 3 motor vehicles, one of which was stolen from the scene. It is further reported that 2 of the vehicles were intercepted and the gunmen fled, leaving behind 1 Remington shotgun, 3 M16 magazines, 1 9mm magazine, and $496,000. However, the police said they escaped with more than $3 million and 2 iPhone smartphones, which together valued more than $200,000. 5 comrades line up to replace Thwaites in central Kingston. The 5 individuals seeking to replace Ronald Thwaites as the People's National Party PNP representative in Kingston Central yesterday signed the party's Code of Conduct for internal elections in an effort to avoid the gutter snipping which has marred some of his contests in the past. Former members of Parliament Raymond Price and Paul Buchanan, Imani Duncan Price, Donald Jackson, and Joan Porteous pledged to conduct their campaigns in such a manner as to enhance the democratic tradition and reputation of the party. They further pledged to, if elected, promote the unity of the party, and if unsuccessful, to abide by the outcome and give full support to the leadership of the person duly elected. In a brief signing ceremony at the PNP's Hold Hope Road headquarters yesterday, PNP Deputy Chairman Horace Daly hinted that candidates could be kicked out of the race for breaching the rules of engagement. This code of conduct is something that the People's National Party is very serious about, and any breach will attract severe consequences, warned Daly, who is among 3 people who will form an oversight committee for the election. The other members of the Oversight Committee are Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate, Donna Scott Motley, and a former Member of Parliament, Ambassador Alun Asamba. This committee will monitor the activities, the pronouncements, the social media posts, and all the campaign activities of the 5 comrades who are going to be involved in trying to replace Comrade Ronald Thwaites, said Daly. Addressing the signing ceremony, PNP General Secretary Julian Robinson noted that roughly 600 delegates are on the preliminary voters list to select the party's candidate to contest the next general election in Kingston Central. Robinson underscored that Thwaites will remain in the seat for the duration of this term and will work closely with the person given the nod by the delegates. In outlining some of the rules of engagement, Robinson warned that supporters of the candidates will also be expected to respect their opponents. According to Robinson, the candidates, their supporters, and the surrogates are mandated to avoid personal attacks on their opponents, teams, and supporters. So we are holding the candidates responsible for the actions of those persons who support them. The candidates shall conduct their campaigns with integrity and shall refrain from using defamatory or inflammatory language towards his or her opponents, said Robinson. He added that the candidate should refrain from seeking any votes by threats, bribery, or other improper means of inducements. Robinson further noted that the candidates are mandated to keep an accurate record of all campaign funds received and to ensure that they do not take money from tainted sources. The candidates will have 7 days after the June 22 selection contest to account for the money spent. The PNP General Secretary also said that the preliminary voters list would have been provided to the candidates yesterday, with them having until Friday to register any concerns before the final list is issued next Monday. He noted that the time and the venue of the contest have not yet been decided, but promised that the delegates will vote somewhere centrally located in the constituency. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.